Great morning. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Oh, this is a good one. This is a good one. Come on in. Y'all hold on for just a second. Hold on. Y'all hold on for 1 second. Hey, Alabama. Y'all hold on. My cord came unplugged, y'all. Now I've got to plug up. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Hold on. Let me plug my cord back up. That will be a whole problem. Hold on. Let me get it together, get it together, get it together, y'all. There's a whole word from the Lord, and I don't want you to miss it fooling with this internet or my battery pack, okay? So y'all just hold on 1 second. Let me get it back together. Hey, everybody. Great morning, great morning, great morning. Listen, oh my God, this word this morning. I said, okay, God, like you really just not playing with us today, okay? Good morning, April. How are you? Good to see you. Hey, Stacy. What's going on, Marcus? How are you? Listen, this is what I need y'all to do. Share, 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 share. Once you shared, let me know you shared. Once you shared, let me know that you have shared. Okay. Let me know you shared. Oh my goodness, this word right here, baby. Let me tell y'all something. God is not playing. When I tell y'all he ain't playing, I mean he ain't playing. Like he ain't playing no games, no tricks, no jokes, no nothing. Listen, watch what I tell you. Watch what I say. Thank you, Jackie. Let me go and share it myself. Let me share, share, share. Hold on. Boom, 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 boom. All right, you guys. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Sissy. I appreciate it. Okay, so listen. Let me just talk to y'all, real talk. Y'all remember the word I gave yesterday? I'm going to show y'all how quick God is moving. Y'all remember the word that I gave yesterday? I gave that word. The person that was in my dream, I reached out to them and told them about the dream. And they said, it's so funny that you reached out to me because I was getting ready to, I was thinking about calling you. What? I was thinking about calling you because a group of us are going to be together and I wanted to see if we could all get together. Let me tell y'all something. God is not playing in this season. There's nothing that's going to happen that is going. Didn't I say that the other day? There's nothing that's going to happen that God is not going to give you a heads up on. He's not going to give you a warning, a precursor. Like it's not going to catch you just off, just off guard. So we've got to understand that what God is doing, like is literally setting us up. How do I do this live and then have this conversation and like literally because God is lining things up. What did I tell you? We have to move in a different level of spiritual maturity. We can't operate in the level of maturity that we've operated in past seasons. Those seasons are gone. There's a higher level of spiritual maturity that God is expecting of us, and we've got to be able to move in that. We've got to be able to operate in that. Why? God is not playing with us. God is not playing with us. Let me tell y'all what happened to me today. So I've been working on this application, and I've been working on this application for days, like days, and I just have not been able to complete the application. Like, I'm just like, I don't even know why I can't complete the application. I just have not been able to complete the application. Now, God told me to do the application. Now, listen, I heard from God. I heard from God about the job, about the school. I heard from God about the move. I heard from God about everything. I just have not been able to complete the application. When I tell y'all, and I've got people holding me accountable. I've got people saying, have you finished? I've got people in my ear. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why I can't do this. Remember this. Remember, as God is taking you through a healing process, those areas where you have been damaged will be the areas that are the greatest challenge for you to move in. I was damaged in the academy. When I tell you the stuff that I went through in higher education was absolutely ridiculous. I was like, I don't even want to deal with these people, right? So God is sending me back into higher education. He's sending me back into the academy. The thing about that is that means that I've got to um contend with the stuff from my past. I've got to deal with the stuff from my past. I've got to deal with those hurts. I've got to deal with those rejections. I've got to deal with those challenges in order to make my way through, even just to complete the application. Now, some applications are easy, right? It's a little adjunct job. I go in and teach, and that's it, right? But baby, when there is something great on the other side, you will often have to contend for that thing. It's not going to be easy, not a smooth walk in the park. Like, literally, you're going to have to go through some challenges in order to get to it. But baby, it is worth it, and God is not playing. Hey, Daddy, I love you too. Look, my sister said, good morning, Pops. She saw you before I did. Look at that. So this morning, God woke me up, and I slept kind of late. But he woke me up about 6. He said, get up. I'm like, who are you talking to like that? He said, get up and finish that application. You finish that application before you do your live. I said, you heard what I said. I feel like it was my daddy fussing at me. And my daddy tell y'all don't like being fussed. I'd be like, don't fuss at me. Don't fuss at me. I don't want you to fuss me. You fussing at me, daddy. He'd be like, baby, I'm not fussing at you. I'm just telling you. I was like, no, it sounds like you're fussing at me. I don't like getting in trouble. But baby, I had to get up and get to work. Now, in all honesty and transparency, I didn't get all the way finished. When I finish this live, I got to finish because I'm not playing with God, because he ain't playing with me, and I don't have time for it. God is not playing with us concerning our destiny. There are things that we are holding up that's holding God up from doing what he desires to do. So literally, there's a series of things that I know I absolutely have to do. I absolutely have to get done. I absolutely have to manifest. Like, I have to do it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It has to get done. But there's a time frame on these things that I have to get done. So literally, God is saying, hey, listen, I'm not playing with you. Let's go. Let's go. If I give you the heads up, if I let you know I'm healing every wounded area in your life, and that area is, y'all, these people, let me tell you something. These people will try to spam your stuff. And that was a little spam thing. Hey, listen, cut off at the head, block. Do you hear me? Um, but what God is doing is going to require you to just push through. Now listen, I'm just telling y'all, I'm just the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger, because he was talking to me too. Okay. So the same way that I'm telling this to you is the way that he was telling it to me. He ain't playing with us no more. Not playing with y'all. Do what I told you. Do what I told you. I told you to do this. Do it. Stop playing. See, we think, oh, I got time. I've got time. Well, no, you don't have time. You don't have time because God is working to bring forth things in the earth realm. There's a scripture says that the earth groans for the sun. What is it? Y'all know the scripture I'm talking about. Listen, let me get to it. Hold on. Hold on. Um, it's something about the earth groans for um the rising of the sons and daughters of God. Hold on. I'm gonna find it because I want you to understand that the earth, the very earth, is waiting for you. Mm-mm. That ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't it. Ooh. I gotta find it. Y'all help me. Romans 8. Thank you, sissy. I don't think that's it. Earth is groaning for sons and daughters. Maybe it's the version. Okay, yeah, it is. It is. It's the version I was looking at. Okay, so it says, um, groaning. Where's the groaning part? The Revelation. She said, yes, it is. Read it. Yes, sissy. Yes. Okay. Okay. Eight. For all creation is waiting eagerly for that future day when God will reveal who his children are. Okay. For we know that all creation has been groaning as in the pains of childbirth right up to the present time. And we believers also groan, even though we have the Holy Spirit within us. This is not the version I want. Let me get the version I want. Let me get the version I want. And it's probably New King James. 19 through 22. I'm just trying to find the version. Let me find the version that I want. Let me see if it's New King James. For the earnest expectation of the creation eagerly waits for the revealing of the sons of God. Listen, the earth is waiting for us. Like literally, the earth is yearning and groaning and moaning and waiting for us to get in position. Listen, what we doing? Thank you, Gwinnett. Thank you, sissies. Hey, sissy. What are we doing? If the entire earth, the entire universe is groaning for the sons and the daughters of God to rise up, to stand up, to show up, what are we doing? We've got the whole universe, the whole earth, the world is waiting for us to show up, waiting for us to get in position, waiting for us to figure it out, waiting for us to do what God said do, waiting for us. But we say, oh, somebody else can do it. Somebody else can do it. They'll do it better than me. Somebody else can do it. Somebody else can do it. They'll do it better. They're better at that than me. They're a better speaker than me. You might stutter. They're a better speaker than me, so let them do it. Oh, they know all the scriptures. Let them do it. Oh, they got more experience. Let them do it. Oh, I don't like being in front of people. Let them do it. See, you got to stop saying let them do it. No, God said you do it. You do it. There are things that He has designed specifically for you to do, and you only. Now, does that mean that it will not happen? Listen, it'll happen, but it won't happen like it would happen if you did it. He's waiting for you. People are waiting for you. And you sitting up, finding all of your deficiencies. Oh my God. I'm so sick of us, including me. I'm so sick of us. Sick of us believing the lies the enemy has implanted in our brains and in our minds from the time that we were children. Sick of us believing the lies that people who did not deserve our time and attention told us about who we were. Sick of us allowing the past and the things that we experienced in the past to dictate our present and our future. Sick of us. You notice I said us, right? Sick of us not believing God enough to take a step forward. Sick of us. Tied so much to the past that we can't move forward because we're scared if we take a step forward, we're going to lose the past. The past will not go away. It is there, but it is not to dictate to us our present or our future. I'm sick of us. Sick of us holding on to the traumas. Sick of us. And when we get sick enough of ourselves, we'll do something different. When we get sick enough of our situations, we'll do something different. When we get sick enough of the consequences, we'll do something different. I'm going to tell y'all something. I've had to do a lot of things that I didn't want to do. A lot of stuff I didn't want to do. Apologize to people when I didn't do nothing. Forgive people when I didn't want to. Interact with people that I wanted to really say, forget you. But I've had to do it. And I didn't have to do it for show. I had to do it for God. My daughter said something to me. Yes, sissy. My daughter said something to me the other day. And she said, well, we were struggling. You wanted to look a certain way. We were struggling in these houses and we didn't have to. We could have been in a lesser house and we could have been in a lesser house, but God wouldn't let me be in a lesser house. You know, God has been very clear with me about my life and what I have to do. And what I have to do doesn't always make sense, but He's always established me in nice houses, always. Like that's a thing that He's done for me. He's always established me in nice houses. And I'm putting you in nice neighborhoods, in nice houses, in houses that, you know, looking at your situation and your circumstances, you shouldn't even be able to afford, you shouldn't be able to be in. But I'm putting you there because it is my reminder that there is more that I have in store for you. Now, some people would say, you know, oh, well, you know, you just want to live outside of your means. So no, that's not what I want to do. But God will be very specific with me about where He wants me to live. And there's always a reason. He said, you know, I'm setting before you a future glory. See, there is a glory that God has before us. And sometimes we get so complacent when I have been those places where it was not what God said. It was what God said for a season, but then the season was up. And when we did not move in that season, it created a whole situation in our lives, in our marriage, in our children, like a whole situation because we were not obedient. And I know that I have to be obedient to God because when I'm not, the consequences are not good. So God has made me promises. I'm going to live in a mansion. I'm going to have an in-ground pool. And there'll be people who say that's too much. It's too much house. Why you need them cars? Why you got to have so many garages? Why you need this? Why you need that? Listen, it is simply God establishing the promises that He made to me when I was a little girl growing up in a 3-room house with no indoor plumbing. So you don't know what I've been through. You don't know what God is trying to show the world. There is something that God has to complete in me. And I am the vessel that He's using to complete this particular thing. There's something He has to complete in me because of my experiences. You know, I'm a first generation college graduate, but I couldn't just be a first generation college graduate. I had to get a freaking PhD and become a college professor. What? There's nothing in my background that should suggest that I would be a college professor. Like, nothing in how I grew up should suggest that I would be a college professor. There's nothing in my growing up that should suggest that I would own a private school of entrepreneurship for 6th through 12th grade. There's nothing in my growing up and how I grew up that should suggest that I would be speaking on stages across the world. There's nothing in my background that suggests that. But there is a God that is greater than the environment in which I grew up. There's a God that is greater than the circumstances of my life. There's a God that is greater than the circumstances of your life. And when you begin to understand that, you understand that I'm not even doing this for me. I'm not even doing this just for legacy. I'm doing this for God. for the world to see that God is real and that God is able and that God will do. He will do exceedingly and abundantly above all you could think or ask. He will put you in places that you never dreamt you would be, put you on stages that you never dreamt you would stand on, put you in arenas with people that you never thought that you would rub shoulders with. But God says you will rub shoulders with them because I've called you to that place. I've called you to that position. So here I am struggling to complete a freaking application, an application for which I am overly qualified, an application where when I begin to list and detail my qualifications, they just go on and on and on and on for days. So what is the problem and what is the issue? I don't want to be hurt again. I don't want to experience hurt again. It's the same reason why we don't deal with people. It's the same reason why we isolate ourselves. It's the same reason why we won't bet on us. It's the same reason why we won't put our music out. The same reason we won't push our movies out. Same reason we won't write our books. The same reason we won't write our plays. The same reason we won't speak. The same reason we won't go live. The same reason that we won't do any of the things that God has called us to do. And it is simply that we don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be disappointed yet another time. God, I did it last time when you told me to do it. And God, this is how it turned out. So why should I do it again, God? It didn't work then. Why should I do it again? My daddy tells a story. This is one of the 1,200 million reasons I love my daddy. Yes, come on, Monica. My daddy tells a story. I love my daddy's stories. Y'all got to get the book. It's coming soon, okay? And he talks about a time when he didn't have the money to buy my little sister an Easter dress. And he talked about being mocked by his wife, saying, well, if you can't buy, you ain't got no money. If you can't do it now, what makes you think you're going to be able to do it tomorrow? And my daddy said, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. And he said, somebody called him, gave him some work to do. And not only did he buy her a dress, he was able to buy her the dress, the hat, the shoes, the gloves, the purse, the entire outfit, and take them to dinner. You see, you got to have a faith that's so tenacious and operate in such tenacity in you, in your belief in what God has promised you, that when it looks like there's no way in hell it's going to happen, there's a way in heaven that it will. Listen to me. When it looks like there's no way in hell it's going to happen, you'll remember there's a way in heaven that it will. That the God that resides in you, when activated, is able to do what looks like impossible. That God is able to open doors that no man can close and close doors that no man can open. That God will show up in a way that will not only blow your mind, but the minds of all of those around you, so that they will know that God is real. So when you all hear me talking about the fact that I'm going to be married in 2022, even though I ain't got no man, and it looks crazy. And when you hear me talking about the things that God has told me to do, and go do this and do that and move here, do that, and it looks crazy and it looks insane to you, when you hear me talking about it, this is why I talk about it. I know some people will say move in silence. I can't move in silence. And I'm going to tell you why I can't move in silence. Because God said he's going to use me as an example. He's going to use me as an example and put me on display. And the reason I talk about it is so that when it happens, you can say, remember, you said that. You said, this is what I get all the time. My folks be like, Dr. V, you said, do you remember that live when you said, and they'll remind me of some stuff that I said that I don't even remember saying, right? But this is why I have to make the public declarations that I have to make. And when God calls you to make a public declaration, make the declaration, because it is his way of ensuring that there are witnesses to what he does. Not just you saying, oh, God did this. No, no, there are witnesses to you saying it before it ever happened. Witnesses to you saying it when it didn't look like it. Witnesses to you saying it when it seemed like it was absolutely impossible and would never happen. Witnesses to it. You need some witnesses. You know how on certain documents, when you sign them, there's a place for a witness, right? See, God uses witnesses to serve as witnesses of what he's done. And then those people go out and witness to other people that this is what happened. Let me tell you what happened. Monica said, God wants you to sound like thunder. Absolutely, right? When I want to be quiet, I can't be quiet. When I want to move in silence, I can't move in silence. God said, no, open your mouth. Open your mouth and declare what I say. Open your mouth. I have to. I have to. And when God gives you that unction to speak something, to declare something, do it. The other thing it does is it holds you accountable. It holds you accountable. Yeah, we got to be held accountable. Accountability is important. So when we're held accountable, that means we gotta do what we gotta do. We gotta make it happen. We gotta make it happen because our word is out there. And one thing about us, we don't want to look no foolish. No, we ain't trying to look foolish. I don't want to look foolish. Now I'm tell you something. That's why I couldn't stand for nobody to cheat on me because I don't like looking stupid in these streets. Don't have me looking stupid. You let me know what you're doing. Let me know what's going on. Let me know you want to do something else. Let me know whatever it is. So I'll know how to move. Because what you are not finna do is have me looking stupid in these streets, right? Oh, that's the biggest thing. I don't think the biggest thing about cheating is necessarily just the betrayal. It's that other people know and you didn't know. Like, what in the world? And you looking at people like you knew and you didn't tell me. And they be like, well, I didn't want to say nothing because I didn't know how you was going to feel about it. I was going to feel like I don't want to be looking stupid. That's how I'm going to feel. So when we understand that God gives us unctions for prophetic declarations over our life, because we have the ability to speak over, I'm not the only one with a prophetic voice. You have a prophetic voice and you can declare over your own life. Every time you open your mouth, you're declaring something over your life. And whatever it is that you're saying, you got to be aware of what you're saying. Got to be aware of what you're saying because our words have power. Our words have power. Stacey said, I've been witnessing to my family about you meeting your other family. Yes. And several people have. So when people were like, why are you telling this all on Facebook? Because I promise there are a lot of people out there that are in situations similar to mine. And it has prompted a lot of people to start looking for their family. Now, everybody's story won't turn out like mine, but everybody's story needs to turn out somehow. We cannot continue to live our lives with all of these unresolved issues, all of these unresolved things existing in our lives. No, when you got all of that unresolved, you can't fully move forward. Not completely, not totally, and not healthily. You got to bring some closure to some things. And so what God is doing in this season is he's bringing you full circle to address some things that need to be addressed so that your healing can be made complete. Okay, God. He's calling you to go full circle to address some things that need to be addressed so that your healing can be made complete. Thus, I have to go back into higher ed because there was a huge wound I experienced in that area. Thus, I have to meet with these people because there was a huge wound in that area. Healing requires you going back. We don't want to go back. We don't want to revisit things, but we have to. We have to revisit them. But then after we revisit them, after we address them, then we got to move forward. We can't take it to the altar and keep going back and picking it up. We can't address it and then keep going back and picking it up. But all of it is rooted in our fear and our desire not to be hurt. We don't want to be hurt. We don't want to be hurt. It is our brain operating in a survival technique. Anything that looks like it could hurt us, damage us, we could be disappointed, that could create fear. Oh, our brain says, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't you do that. Don't you do that. It is an animalistic thing, right? It is an animalistic thing. It is our brain's survival technique. And we have to override it like a computer. We have to override it. Yes, Monica, people need to heal. It starts with the root. Absolutely. 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 See, let me tell y'all something. All of this stuff that's trying to pop up, why is this stuff popping up today? Why are these comments popping up today? Why today? Because there's a word that God is trying to get out, and the enemy is always trying to create distraction. I'm gonna tell you one thing about me, and I love that I have some people around me who like know me. A friend of mine said to me, he said, one thing about you I know. If you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. I said, you know that? Yep. If you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. It may not happen right then, but you're gonna do it. If you say you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. It's not an accident. It is the technique that I had to use in order to survive. Had to. I had to. I had to. Did y'all hear what I said? I'm a first generation college graduate. And check this out. I want y'all to hear me. When I was 17, my senior year, when I had all of those losses, got pregnant, had an abortion. A few weeks later, my grandmother died. 6 weeks later, my brother drowned. Then I graduated. I was essentially on my own. Not that my parents were not alive. They were. But I was responsible for me. I had to make stuff happen. Like I assumed responsibility for me at 17 and made things happen. I organized, orchestrated, called, checked on, because my family could not help me. They had not been to college. So they could not help me with any of that. So I had to do that. I'm the first one in my family to pledge a Greek letter sorority. Like they're all of these first, because God needed me to build up a level of tenacity that was unstoppable. And I believe with everything in me, this year, me going back to my 17th year of life, the year when I suffered all those losses, my senior year, when I was about to graduate and move on to something else, there's even symbolism in that, that I've got to go back to that time frame and deal with the stuff that happened during that time frame that has kind of held me hostage. Even as I say that, I recognize there's a conversation that I've got to have with someone that I've not had, but it was a situation that really affected me. Yes, Daddy, we must remember who we are and whose we are. Absolutely. See, because look at this. How does God, in his infinite wisdom, take all the things I wanted from my parents and wrap them up in this man called my daddy, through his life experiences, through his mistakes, so that after 55 years, and I'm not saying that my parents were bad people. They weren't. They weren't bad people. So I don't want y'all to mishear me. My parents did the absolute best they could do with what they had. There were some things that I still desired. Wrap them up in this man and save him for this time right here, for a time that was going to be so defining in my life, for a time when I would need him like I'd never needed him before in my life. For this time right here, God put that man on reserve. He didn't let him know about me or me know about him until the appointed time. And at the appointed time, God revealed it. At the time when I was crying out because I wanted my daddy, God said, listen, I can't bring back the one that you had, but what I'm going to do is I put one in reserve. And what you don't know is he is the source of your DNA. Monica says she has a poem called Who Am I and What Do I See in my upcoming book. Y'all, yes, her book is coming. I need y'all to get that book. God knew when my daddy deposited his seed in my mama that he was going to be needed, that the man that he was going to become, I would need at this time. If that's not love, what is it? That God would love me so much that he would do that for me, that he would love me so much that he would order my steps, that he would love me so much that he would position me how he's positioned me in my life, that he would love me that much. So that in the midst of what looks like absolute insanity and chaos, God would show himself strong and mighty. That he would teach me to appreciate the things that my parents did when they were raising me and still give me the desires of my heart. Oh my God. And if he can do that with my daddy, how much more so can he do it with my husband? The area that I just wouldn't give to him, that I'm just like, God, no, I'm gonna hold that. Listen, I don't know, because I don't know about your track record. Really, when his track record really was mine, right? Some of it was things that I had to do because he told me to, but a lot of it was me. I'm just being real with y'all right now because I think that sometimes we're not real enough with people and they don't understand some things. God knows that the thing that I most desire, that would most complete my life, is being able to do life with that special man for the rest of my life. That is, that's my heart's desire, to have that relationship where, we can laugh together, play together, work together, build together, pray together, minister together, so that we can do this thing called life together. Like, I desire that. I can cook for him. Like, no, I ain't gonna tell y'all that. That I really desire to do for my husband, not for a man, but for my husband, the one, right? There are things that my heart aches to do. And like the earth is groaning for us, my heart is groaning for that man, not just any man. I don't want just any man, right? I don't just want a man, right? Because, he's, a good man. I want the God man that God has for me to do my life with. I want my mission mate, my purpose partner. I want that. I don't want just anything. I've been married. I've been married 5 times. I know how to get married. I know how to listen. Some people say, I've never been married. Da 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 da. I know how to get married. I know how to get a husband. Like, I know how to do that, right? But I have not been willing to be patient and allow God to have that area of my life. And I think, this is a deep dive into Dr. V. I don't know who this is for. Maybe this will bless someone, because sometimes we need to do a deep dive. Why he be having me do deep dives on live, I don't know, but he does. But I think that at the root of it, you got to get to the root. At the root of it is that I felt like if I wasn't enough, oh my God, of doing all this, things that I felt like if I wasn't enough for the people who conceived me, if I wasn't good enough, if there was always something wrong with me, if they didn't want me enough to raise me with them, how would anybody else? So I settled for the people who weren't able to be what I need, but wanted me. Oh God, I'm just not. This was not my plan for this morning. That, why are you doing that? If even the people that I love, that I called friends, didn't know me enough to know what I would and wouldn't do, if the people that I called family didn't know me enough to know what I would and wouldn't do, but they would believe someone else over me. Would there ever be a man who would be my equal, my counterpart, who would be able to understand all of the different facets of me and appreciate them and embrace them and not punish me because I'm smart? I've got a PhD, not use that as a weapon against me, not use my relationship with God as a weapon against me. The fact that I'm a prophet, use it against me. The fact that though I'm a prophet, there have been things that happened in my life that I did not see, use it against me. Who would see me beyond the physical while still appreciating the physical. Just I just felt like I would never be enough for that man. That my strength would be a problem because society, just is always talking about the strong black woman, demonizing us for our strength when the whole time we really just want a man that we can rely on. Like whole time, we just want a man that we can trust to lead us and not lead us off a freaking cliff, right? So the conflict there, not feeling like you're enough, even though there are all these amazing things about you. So it's kind of take me having very concentrated doses of my daddy telling me how amazing I am to just kind of feel a hole that was so deep that when I think that I've already worked through it, it's already done. Like I'm trying to figure out why I'm even out here crying. Like this snot running out my nose. It ain't even cute, right? When I think that I've dealt with that and how deep those wounds are, I'm reminded that there's some more layers to it. That's why you hear me say my daddy, because he's done so much for me just by loving me. Not loving me because I've done this or because I've done that, but just loving me because I am. That's why this journey's been so hard because it unearths all my insecurities, all my feelings of not being enough, never being enough. People always needing more to validate that I'm enough. That's why that even though I knew that everybody in the situation had to go through that process, the process hurt for me when all you want is to be accepted and loved. And it seems as though those that you extend that to don't necessarily extend it back, or it's conditional. There's stipulations attached to it. It hurts because it triggers that childhood trauma and it reminds you. of things that have happened in the past. And this is why we have to heal. This is why we have to heal. We owe it to ourselves to heal those wounds so that we can be whole and complete and the best version of ourselves. It is in that place of something being done or said, hitting a sore spot, a tender spot that pokes the bear and listen, may awaken my petty, because it's been awakened in this process. So I had to consciously and actively cut my petty off. I had to actively and consciously do that because it's such an instinct, right? Oh, this what you gonna do? Oh, you gonna pay for this. I'm gonna get you back. I might wait. You might not know I got you, but I'm gonna get you. And you gonna know you been get when I get through getting you. Cause it ain't gonna be just a single get. I'm gonna get you. And God said, no, you're not. No, you're not. That's not what you're doing. God is not playing with us. But that means that He's not playing with us in our healing either. Get yourself together. Face what you need to face. Deal with the depth of your wounds, but do it with grace. I've been dealing with a lot of attacks from people that are close to me, that have been like not sticking a knife in, like the knife is already there, but like them just twisting it a little bit, turning it back and forth, making the wound bigger. And God told me this. He said, don't worry about it. I'm going to pull the knife out and I'm going to seal the wounds, heal you, make you whole without even there being a scar there. But in order for me to do that, you got to love those people. You got to forgive no matter how many times they do it. And you got to love them. You just got to love the complete and total hell out of them. You got to love them. Your response to whatever they do has to be love. Now, understand, he didn't say that I was going to be letting people talk to me crazy and do crazy stuff to me, but he said I got to love them. Anyway, even when I address it, I've got to address it in love. Now, I got a quick tongue. My mouth can be caustic. It can do damage. It's like, nope. Mm-mm. I'm not letting you do it. God is not playing with us, y'all. And I don't know why I had to be so transparent this morning. I don't know why I had to share that, but I had to because y'all know I don't be trying to just be out here crying. I be trying to be too cute for that, okay? But that was a whole snot cry. Like, what in the world? And I think it's because as we're healing, we experience some pain that requires a cathartic release. And sometimes when we get to the root of things and acknowledge the root, it's hard. It's hard and it hurts. And that's why I hold on to the scripture. He who began a good work in you is faithful and just to bring it to completion until the coming of Christ Jesus. Baby, as long as you still have breath, God is going to complete what He started. You're not junk. God is going to complete what he started in your life. You don't believe me? Keep living and keep moving forward in him and watch what he does. So I don't have time to be mad at people, to hold on to stuff. I don't have time for that. My destiny is too great, and there's too much weighing in the balance for that. It's too much. But what I'm not going to do is allow people to think that it's okay to treat me any kind of way, because it's not. It's not. And there was a time when, because I just wanted to please people, I would allow people to get away with a lot of stuff, a lot of jokes that weren't jokes. Because y'all know when people say they joking, they don't really be joking. It be truth in it. Jokes are our way of saying things that we really want to say, but we know we can't just say it out in the open. So, no, some ways you just can't play with me. There's some things you just can't say and think I'm not going to recognize it for what it is and call you out on it. No, when the word of God says, no weapon formed against you shall prosper, and every tongue that rises against you, you shall silence. Baby, that thing liberated me to set boundaries, to address things, to not allow things to fester and create a root of bitterness. Some of us are dealing with roots of bitterness from years and decades ago, where people have said and done things and like it just set up root. And then they kept doing and saying things and kept doing and saying things and kept doing and saying things. And we decide our response to it is to cut those people off. Like that's a natural, logical response, right? But is it God's response? Is it what God would have us to do permanently? Maybe or maybe not. That's between you and God, but you need to seek God on that. And if it's something that can be addressed and resolved, if it's something that can lead to reconciliation, God is the author of reconciliation, and he has called all of us to be ministers of reconciliation. If there can be reconciliation, I don't mean you got to be best friends. I don't mean that you got to get remarried. I don't mean that, you got to like be in each other's face all the time. I don't mean any of that. But I mean a point of reconciliation where you can think about that person without getting angry, without feeling all of these negative emotions. God wants to remove all of that out of it. I don't care what they did. I don't care how it happened. I don't care how long it happened. God wants to bring us to a place of peace that surpasses all understanding. That is his goal. So he's sick of us with our excuses. He's sick of us with us denying the truth. Can we just operate in the truth of a thing? He's sick of it. Being real about our feelings and our emotions. I was having a conversation. Actually, I had several conversations about this. And one of the things about me is sometimes my honesty creates problems for me because I'm honest about stuff that most people won't be honest about. Okay. And people don't know what to do with that honesty, right? So they take it, they run with it, they make it something that it's not because I just was honest. Now, listen, what I know is most people will not be honest. It's so funny because in my marriage, my ex says he never cheated. I don't believe it, period. I don't believe it. Me, on the other hand, I'm the one that'll say, yes, I cheated. I cheated the first time we were married, and I cheated the second time when I was married. We were married. Would you like for me to detail what happened leading up to it, what happened after, and why I stayed in the marriage? Because I wanted to be gone. Okay. Because I can detail all of that. But it's because I choose to be honest and I choose to accept accountability and responsibility for my choices. Some people can say, oh, well, you're just a cheater. You'll always be a cheater. I don't believe that. That's not what I believe. Um, but I also believe that there were things that I could have done that I didn't know how to do or how to navigate. That I asked people help me because I this is what I feel like is finna happen. right? And people were not able to give me actionable steps that I could engage in to help keep me from taking a step that would slow down my destiny or keep me in a marriage that I really wanted to be out of. Because God was real clear with me in the first time that my ex and I were married. Because I cheated, I had to stay. Because I cheated, he said, "No, now you got to stay." What? Now, what kind of mess is this? So when people look at my track record, they don't see all of the pieces. They don't see that I want it to be done. They don't see all of that. They don't see that God made me stay because I cheated. I promise you, God has always dealt with me. Oh, he deals with me. But some people, they'll never tell the truth about a situation. In the culture of men, there's this thing, maintain the lie. No, man, you don't tell on yourself. You just maintain the lie. You just deny, 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 deny. But in that denial, there's never really a way for the marriage to fully be restored because it's being restored on a lie. The foundation is a lie. See, I'd much rather someone be honest with me, tell me what's going on. When I was married to one of my husbands, he told me that he had feelings for somebody. I said, well, if you feel like you have, this is going to sound crazy, but this is what I said. If you feel like you have feelings for them, then what you need to do is you need to explore that, figure that out, and make a decision. Then let me know, right? Because I promise, I'll be okay. But if you're supposed to be with someone else and your heart is with someone else, I would rather you be with that person than to stay married to me. Just let me know and let me go. Right now, that sounds absolutely crazy and absolutely insane, but I would much rather have honesty, much rather have honesty and give me a choice. Okay. I let him go explore. He was like, no, I want to be with you. Okay. Well, then let's work on it. But in order for us to work on it and it have a chance, you can't be communicating with her because that's going to create a problem. He still communicated with her. We still ended up not together, and they ended up not together. So the moral of the story is this: though honesty may not net you the results you desire, honesty will always result in results that are necessary in that time frame for whatever lesson has to be learned. One thing about me for sure: if I did it, I'm gonna say I did it. If I said it, I'm going to say I said it. Okay? That period, point blank. I don't have time for anything else. If I feel a way, then I'm probably going to say something to you, right? Because I'd rather get clarity. Now, I'm going to accept you at face value with what you say, but I'm going to keep my eye open. All right? I'd rather have clarity and give people an opportunity to articulate anything that they need to articulate than to operate in speculation. Because often when we assume, y'all know what we do when we assume, you make an ass out of you and me. I ain't trying to be nobody's donkey. Okay. So rather than just assume, listen, I just say some stuff I just take at face value and keep it moving because I don't have time to dig below the surface. If you can't say it, then look, I ain't dealing with it. I'm just going to keep moving. God is sick of us allowing stuff, emotions, and all of this stuff to interfere with our forward movement. So when you look at me and you look at my life and you go back down my timeline and you look at my videos and you look at the things that I posted, like posting about my abortion and posting a poem to my son that I did not have. Listen, all of that is me being honest about my life experience and getting closure on things I need closure on. Why does it have to be public? Y'all may say, well, you can just do that in private. You can do it in private. I can't. I have to do it in public because there are people who are going to be prompted to get closure as a result of me getting closure and sharing my closure. Right, Monica. Hey, Kim, you're so welcome. Life is too short for us not to be in purpose. Life is too short for us not to trust God. And I know that He's stretching me. He's stretching me. He's stretching me in ways that are uncomfortable for me. And He's requiring me to give up control. Like I have it anyway. Like really He in control. He already know what's gonna happen, right? It's requiring me to give up control of things that I even think I control. I really don't. So understand that in this journey, we have choices to make. And today, you get the opportunity to choose to do what God has told you to do, no matter what it costs you, no matter what it requires of you. And you got to get on the other side of your fear. Remembering fear is just false evidence appearing real. And at the end of the day, God simply wants to get the glory out of your story, even through the gory parts of your story. So look, you all, listen, I done cried, I done snotted, I done poured out my soul, I done pulled back all of the veils. There's nothing left. I ain't gonna say that. There probably is some more stuff left, but um, I know it was for a reason. And whoever it was for, I pray that you take this moment that God disrupted and interrupted my life to require me to get transparent in a way that caused me to snot. I pray you do something with that. And I pray that you use it and allow my exposure of myself publicly to assist you in healing what God doesn't necessarily want to have to necessarily make public at this time. He may later, he may now. I don't know. But that you use it for what it was intended. I pray this word blessed you. If the word blessed you and you feel called and led to sow a seed into my life, you can go to Cash App, $DRV Walters, or PayPal.com/DRV Walters. Listen, this sacrifice was not for a seed, okay? But a seed is for your harvest. May my tears water the seeds that you've sown and produce a harvest beyond your imagination. God bless you. I love you to life and life more abundant. Be absolutely, unequivocally blessed. Mwah.